There is no reason to go fishing in Minecraft. Not only is it a painfully slow XP source, it fills up your entire inventory with junk before you can blink, and every item that is actually good is better obtained through other means. Seriously, Saddles, why are you still here? So in this video, I'm gonna give myself a reason to go fishing. I'll be building an entire riverside fishing village, all so I can catch one singular mending book. It'll be fine. The first thing I had to do was figure out where I'm gonna actually build this thing. And the more I look at this area right here, this little cove along the river, I think it's gonna be the perfect spot to build our fishing village. Because this terrain is pretty nice, a ton of the work was already done for me. It meant that I could start collecting materials for the first section of the build, the lower docks. The main color palette for this area is brown, a healthy mix of coarse dirt, podzol, and rooted dirt, but I'm also imagining some green tones mixed in from all the fishermen trudging their wet, algae-covered boots along the pathways. With materials gathered, I got to work laying down a stone foundation to build upon, and from there started building up the main walking path. I made sure to raise the village up from the water by a couple of blocks to add some more interest with this stone retaining wall. And then I went through creating a long, rickety wooden dock on the actual water level with campfires, spruce trapdoors, and barrels. Also lodestones. These are easy to craft now, so that's exciting. I don't know why I use them. And then the moss leading into like all the different browns with the leaf litter. It does, however, look a little bit weird right now being so far out from the hillside because there's no buildings in yet. So why don't we change that? While I head out to gather some materials, let me walk you through my main inspiration for this build. I'm taking a ton of influence from the village of Portofino, Italy. Located along a peninsula on the Ligurian Sea in the northwest, Portofino has a rich and colorful history as a fishing port. Immediately, I was fascinated by just how bright and vibrant all of the buildings were. But after doing some research as for why, I was even more interested. It turns out the answer lies all the way back around the 15th century during the Renaissance period. During this time, there were major changes taking place in art, architecture, and many other disciplines, quite frankly, as society strived to move away from the old and embrace modern times. One of these innovations was trompe-l'œil, which is a French term for deceive the eye, where relatively flat, two-dimensional surfaces were often made to look 3D with extravagant paintings and optical illusions. Portofino and its nearby villages were no exception here. As a way to show the illusion of wealth without actually needing to have money, buildings were painted bright colors. Windows were painted on in the masses purely as facades, which was also a nice loophole considering buildings with more than 6 windows were taxed. And many doors weren't actually doors. So it's safe to say people have been avoiding building interiors long before Minecraft. But there is another reason for the bright, vibrant architecture style, and this one is far more practical. As fishermen returned home from sea, the popping colors made it easy to see where they were headed, and quite literally helped to guide them home. So all that is to say that I'm going to need a lot of different blocks for this build. How did I just get return to sender on him? Wait, did I get the music disc for that? It did! Oh, hi! There it is. I was like so confused. Most of the blocks that I need were pretty simple, just like different wood variants and stuff. I did, however, need mushroom stems, but luckily I found a mushroom island a little while back on a live stream, so that wasn't a big deal either. I also need more white terracotta, but I'm severely out of bone meal. All right, I'm not proud of it, you guys, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a bad neighbor. Now I'll just grab some blackstone for the roof, add some sheep to my cow farm, grab some string for candles, collect some bamboo from down here, and now I can begin building. Despite using a ton of different colors, the actual shape of these buildings is pretty simple. They're kind of just like two-dimensional flat boxes with simple slanted roofs with the idea that the water would flow off the roofs and then down into the river. Gone fishing. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful this building is. I guess it's 2 buildings, technically. I am absolutely obsessed with what we have done here. It's such a grungy, yet colorful and messy and honestly just beautiful style we have going on here. But before I can build any more, we need to address this interior, and more specifically, we need to build a farm. Considering that the rest of this village is going to be made out of a lot of different wood types, I'm going to need more bone meal. So I think in here is like a perfect spot to build a bone meal farm. Bone meal farms are essentially moss farms that don't give you moss, they give you bone meal instead. And I have a design here that's quite compact, but it does require a lot of slime blocks. this. I tried heading out to a nearby swamp on a live stream, but the rates were honestly terrible. And then somebody had the idea to use my armadillo silverfish infestation farm and then splash them with an oozing potion. And it worked. It was honestly genius. Gathering the rest of the materials was a breeze, so I could begin digging out and building the actual farm. This bone meal was designed by Made of Moss. And the cool thing is that it is tileable if I want to expand it in the future. For now though, I'm just going to build this one module because I think that'll be enough running in the background. As with most farms that I make, it didn't work. And not because the farm itself is bad, but because I can't follow directions. It turns out that a couple of composters literally needed to have one piece of compost in them. And from there, it was working great. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the sound and sight of success. And once this dispenser fills up, which might take a little bit, we should have a bunch of bone meal in this chest. Actually, we already have some in there. Now, I'm not going to bother too much with interiors for right now. I will, however, make sure to cover this up so I don't fall in the lava. That would be tragic. There we go. Safety barriers have been installed. I was feeling pretty tired from building the moss farm, so I figured I would spend the rest of the night just gathering materials so I could do a ton of building the next day. There's kind of like 10 main colors that I wanted to use on the build here. Orange, magenta, pink, yellow, sand, light brown, red, cyan, white, and gray. For each of the colors, I chose one block to stand as the primary build material, for instance,
mangrove planks
for red. And then from there, I picked a couple of similar blocks to add texture. This was all made really easy thanks to the Axiom mod that I've been using, which has this feature where you can put a block into the color picker and it will show you all of the blocks that are similar in like color and texture to it. It's so cool, you need to check it out. And speaking of creative mode stuff, I should probably mention that I am pre-planning this build ahead of time with Lightmatica. I really want to grow as a builder and just like get better and build cooler things. And this saves me a ton of time because after I design the build myself, it tells me exactly which blocks to go and collect in my actual world. Also, building with Lightmatica is actually way harder than building in purely survival because now I have to deal with the emotional turmoil of everyone calling me a cheater. Jokes aside, I was already putting that bone meal farm to really good use. Basically, any type of wood that I wanted was now instantly obtainable without having to wait around for it to grow in. There were a lot of more obscure things that I had to gather, whether it be a bunch of different dyes for terracotta, glow lichen, grass. I even had to make a bunch of mud manually, which is just this really awkward process of running back and forth with one water bottle. I had to get more copper for trapdoors, a ton of different colored glass panes, banners, fence gates. I feel like I was grocery shopping for this like really complicated, obscure recipe that needed just a little bit of a ton of different herbs and spices that I don't have in my pantry. But the only way to buy these spices is in bulk, so now I have a bunch of leftovers. I was definitely getting pretty exhausted by this point, as showcased by the infamous double yawn. But after 3.5 hours of gathering, I was ready to go, baby. Okay, I just slept 9 hours and consumed a bagel sandwich. So I think that puts me in the best shape possible to actually start building. Let's do this. I only had like a few rules when I was designing this place. For instance, I knew the buildings would need to have a pretty simple shape. Also, I knew that they would have to be kind of stacked up on top of each other. And lastly, I just wanted each of them to be a different color. That's really it. And from there, I was able to build something pretty cool. Oh my gosh, this is looking so freaking good. I am absolutely obsessed. Look at all these beautiful colors. We got yellows, we got pinks. I am loving what I've cooked up here. That is until you look at the backside. From the backside, it looks... Oh my gosh, it looks so bad. You see, if you look through here, I actually have a staircase going all the way up through the center. I think it adds a lot of interest, as well as a staircase over here leading through this little archway thing. This area and this area are gonna connect with an upper level. That's right, this is a double-decker fishing village. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I'm doing. There we go. Oh my gosh, this is looking so freaking good. I love it. We got some of the blues, some of the bright reds. Oh my gosh, I think we have basically every color in here except for green. But I will say, I think we're in a good enough spot to do some fishing because I need to take a break from building and we should probably catch ourselves a mending book. And because I like to challenge myself, or at least that's what I say, I'm gonna do it with a regular fishing rod because Minecraft has this really great like fishing progression system where you'll actually end up catching better rods even with a bad rod. Oh dang, it would have been really cool if I caught a fishing rod right there to showcase. Okay, 1 hour update. We're still here. Oh hi, there's pillagers in the background. Also, this is my friend. He doesn't have a name yet, but we're just buddies. You know, he kind of likes me. We got a lot of good stuff, but definitely nothing of real use yet. I still have a regular fishing rod, hoping that changes soon. Yo, we just got our first Nautilus shell. Let's go. Okay, this is good. I accidentally didn't record like anything from hour 2 of fishing, but I was getting really discouraged. Okay, well, I just broke my 5th fishing rod. I feel like this is a good time to call it and go actually enchant one ourselves because I need to put my pride aside. This is gonna take way too long if I just keep doing it from a regular rod. Big money, big money, big money. Luck of the Sea 3, Lure 3, Unbreaking 3. That's a max rod right there. Wow, okay, that should make things a lot easier. And it did. By hour 3, things were looking up. I was catching fish faster, and I was catching better stuff. My chance of finding treasure was doubled, and my chance of catching trash was literally cut in half. All right, we caught our first book, but no mending. Hopefully we don't need to catch too many more of these. That would be very nice. Just to mix things up, I started experimenting with fishing from different spots in the village, and I found that the longer I stayed in one spot, the more bored I would get, and also the more paranoid I would get that something was sneaking up on me. To help get around this, I began installing an actual fishing balcony. That's what I'm going to call it, a fishing balcony, yes, where I could actually safely fish for long periods of time, including through the night and in the rain. But just to ensure my complete and utter safety, I set off on a little side quest at the beginning of hour 4. Oh, this is a bustling village. I'm going to go in stealthy. I'm going to steal their pet. Oh, they're after me. Yeah. Oh, no. Got him. I got him. Just like that. Oh my gosh, 2 black and white cats. Stop. That's so cute. In case you didn't know, creepers are actually terrified of cats. So apart from looking absolutely adorable, these guys are gonna help keep me safe while I fish. We got Tux and we got Ito. Oh my gosh. We can breed you guys and then we'll name your offspring Tuxedo. Hello. Oh my gosh. Actually, you can sit right here, little guy. He's so adorable. He's actually so cute. What the frick? Okay, so this is my bow. I just fished up this bow. We're getting so many good things, just not what we need. That's hype. That's big hype. I almost just killed him. Hour 5 was once again pretty uneventful until I caught my 8th Nautilus shell. So once again, I set off on another side quest, this one far more dangerous. Normally, I'm terrified of my first ocean monument in a hardcore world, but I was live streaming this, and honestly, I was just kind of tired of fishing, so I just said screw it. I wasn't recording any of that. Gosh dang it. Well, we're in an ocean monument. It's fine. A little whoop, and then you go whoop, and you go whoop, and then you go whoop. Boom. Free gold. Thank you. And some sponges. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right. I don't know how much I need. We'll just grab like a stack. Oh, we got this smithing template too. We can make ourselves a conduit. Very nice. We also have like Fulbright down here. Look at it. Kills them. That's so hype. All right. Enough fun. Back to fishing. By the time that hour 6 rolled around, I was pretty much out of relevant side quests, so I buckled down and started fishing again. I knew it might take a long time, but I was determined to sit here and fish for as long as I need to catch this dang book. Nothing was gonna stop me. And then my fiance asked if I wanted to play Stardew Valley with her. I fished for 6.5 hours yesterday. Times used, fishing rod, 1,061 casts. That's actually crazy. And while I do not yet regret my decision to go fishing for a mending book, I think if I do more today, I'm going to have a medical emergency. Luckily, there's still lots to do in this fishing village. For starters, I need to connect this pathway up to our starter base. And it just so happens that there's this beautiful little dip in the terrain through here, just from the vanilla terrain. And I am nothing if not lazy, so I will happily use what I've been blessed with for this pathway. I find it very helpful to get feedback from people when you're making a Minecraft build, especially if you want to improve things. And I oftentimes like to go to my fiance, who does not play Minecraft, has never really played Minecraft, but she's a human who lives on Earth. believe it or not. That's a weird sentence. And she said that the fishing village seems to blend in a little bit too much with like the big green grass behind it. Because from the reference images that we were looking at, the main thing you notice is the rocky, jagged cliffs that the villages are usually built upon. So I'm adding in this stone wall to kind of sell that illusion. Heck yeah, dude. This is looking super good. I love the way it kind of curves up and around. Oh yeah, it's so freaking cool. But you might notice that I left this area intentionally blank. And that's because if you go over here, which is like a really good spot for a screenshot, you kind of just look and there feels like there should be something here. Boom. There we go. And you're probably wondering what the hell I just built. Honestly, me too. I think it'd be cool to turn this place just into a nice little seating area for people to hang out. It's kind of on top of the hill. You get a nice view above the village. Maybe sit here, have a picnic, eat some lunch. Okay, so bear with me. I think if I do this, we can extinguish these. Oak trap doors in the back. And then some spruce, no, not there. Oh my God. And then some spruce signs. Yeah, this is nice. I would sit here and eat a sandwich. No. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh my God, I just flooded the whole village and there's intruders. No. God dang it, bro. Apologies, I just completely blacked out and spent 2.5 hours practicing how to build trees. All of that time spent to build 6 trees. Yeah, 6 of them. Now to address this. And I think we're just gonna turn this into a little bit of a wheat field. I don't have one of those yet, and I feel like that's just a good thing to have in a Minecraft world. Oh, there's a lot of things down here. Okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see this. Sorry, pig. Bye. Okay, I feel like this is a good shape. I can see the vision. Now we gotta hydrate this bad boy, and I've been saving all of my mangrove roots from the thousands of mangrove trees I've been chopping down, it feels like. If we just waterlog these guys, we should be able to hoe all of this farmland and it'll be hydrated. Oh crap, I only have 2 diamonds left to my name. Iron hoe it is. Oh yeah, dude, this is gonna look sick. That is if I actually have seeds to plant. How many seeds do I have? 4. Cool, actually I have 5, hell yeah. Oh, 5 more, just doubled our seeds. It's fine, because I have a bone meal farm. Okay, we got 42 seeds now. Turned into 3 stacks of seeds. Wow, this is crazy. Wow, that didn't even get me across the top layer. Okay, there we go. 12 stacks of bone meal later. We got ourselves a pretty damn cool wheat field. I spent the rest of the night adding in more details, like extending this rock wall, going through adding in banners with letters to kind of signify what these buildings might store. I'm going with the different fishing loot table stuff. And even though none of these interiors are done, you guys are not allowed to yell at me because that's what the Italians did. That's my excuse. I added in some boat storage because this is where that would be. And with that, the fishing village is officially done. Oh my gosh. Except for the part where, you know, I fish up a mending book. Kind of like the entire reason that I'm building the village in the first place. So, without further ado, let's grab this thing. There it is. There's my beloved fishing rod. And let's get back on the grind, baby. Oh, hopefully it doesn't take too long, but you know what? I don't even care anymore. I got a cool place to fish, and that's all that matters. Maybe fishing isn't so bad after all. Okay, well, actually, no, it is bad. It's boring. It's slow. But that's kind of what fishing is. Look, I know this is just like a silly video game that I play, but I couldn't help but think of the summers when my dad would take me fishing. And it was never about catching crazy big fish or whatever. It was just about doing the thing and spending that time together. And that's why I love this challenge, because when else am I going to block off an entire Wednesday just to live stream me fishing in Minecraft? And would you believe it? After just 30 minutes of fishing yet again, it finally happened. Oh, book. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got it. Yo, dude, we freaking did it. Tuxedo, we did it! And I'm gonna put this bad boy in my bedroom. Most prized possession. I'm not even gonna use this thing. I just wanted to have it done.